Chantel Roberts, and I'm an expert witness for claims handling standards, practices, and procedures. I was an adjuster for 20 plus years. The art of adjusting is a vlog to help professionals and laypeople alike understand a bit more about the insurance claims industry. You may have had to sign a waiver to have your hair cut, or if you went to the gym recently. Today we'll be talking about COVID-19 claims and waivers. What is a waiver? A liability waiver is a document in which a participant agrees to release the provider of an event for any fault or liability for injuries resulting from ordinary negligence. Waivers are a type of document which hopes to draw attention to the fact the participant is assuming a risk by undertaking an activity. The most common waiver you may see currently is the ones for gyms, salons, or barbershops. I have a salon waiver, and it says, quote, "In consideration for providing haircuts, color, and spa services, by signing the below, you agree to accept all responsibility for the risk you may contract COVID-19. The waiver then changes subjects from you to I. Then it'll say, quote, "I agree that if I take any steps to make a claim for damages against the salon, its agents, employees, or any other released parties arising out of my receipt of haircut, color, or spa services during my visit, I shall be obligated to pay all attorney's fees and costs incurred with the result of such claim, or as a result of such claim." The courts state that language in a waiver must be specific. It has to have the following standards. It specifically needs to state the intention of both parties, and it has to be clear and unambiguous. And the standard or the waiver here has done that. It goes on to say, quote, "I acknowledge that I can go elsewhere to have services, and I acknowledge that the salon is not the only salon where I can have my services. By signing this agreement, I acknowledge that I am free to go to other salons who may not require my agreement to accept responsibility for contracting COVID-19, and I choose to have these services." Courts have also stated that the customers must be able to understand the risk associated with the rights that they're waiving associated with the services provided. And I'm not necessarily sure that this waiver conveys those rights the customer is waiving. COVID-19 can lead to permanent respiratory illnesses or issues, prolonged illnesses, and death. But this is not mentioned in the waiver. All it says is that I have to find a new beautician. And I'll wager a jury of women would be very sympathetic to a plaintiff because of the bond that a woman has with her beautician. Some states, such as New York, require the word negligence to be specifically included and defined as to what the activity provider's negligence would be. The language of a waiver will be construed strictly against the author of the waiver, much like an insurance policy is construed against the insurer when there's an ambiguity. Each state interprets a waiver differently. Oklahoma considers waivers valid if there is a clear and unambiguous language and the event would not cause injury to the public health. Courts have refused to enforce waivers if the business's actions were against public policy. COVID-19 is a known public health hazard. Currently, Connecticut, Louisiana, Montana, and Virginia refuse to enforce waivers. Adjusters, when receiving a suit or a claim from an insured or a claimant, need to review the waiver in addition to state laws regarding same. Like any other claim, a full investigation should be carried out, including recorded statements of the claimant, the insured, and any witnesses regarding the adherence to the CDC's guidelines for physical distancing and cleaning. Proving the claimant contracted the virus from the insured's location would be difficult, so understanding the movements of the claimant, called contact tracing, would be important. This week I've discussed what a waiver is and how it relates to COVID-19 claims. Every claim is different and every insurer has different protocols for handling losses. This being a litigated world that we're in, see below for some legalese. Few claims go to a jury trial, and picking an expert who has been deposed the most or has gone to trial the most may not be the correct expert. Failing to have a second set of eyes on the claim in order to save some expenses isn't always the best way to resolve a loss. As an expert witness and former claims adjuster, I'm sharing my expertise in the art of adjusting. Thank you for listening. I appreciate your time.